you are just the definition of health. You put your health first. You're bringing us, you are on the cutting edge. I really believe this. I think what you have here is so special. I think you are like the next generation. And if we can't do it for us, but I do think that there's still hope for us. At least we can do it for the next generation. We can reverse some of the damage we've done already to ourselves.
100%. It's not too late. It's really not too late. I'm going through a lot right now I'm doing plasma exchange and trying to clean my blood, if you will.
Amazing.
And get all of the toxins out of my blood. Mm-hmm.
Are you having other health issues?
No, but I did it. I took a test and it measures all of the toxins, lead, mercury, anything from the coated pans that you use to cook, the black spatulas, your coffee maker, a bottle of water. Mm-hmm. I have a lifetime of toxins and stuff in my body. Mm-hmm. And those toxins can, like we talked about, suppress the immune system. So I'm going through a procedure. It's called with MD Lifespan right now in Chicago. Mm-hmm. And you do 3 sessions, or I'm doing 3, I should say, but it's called the Toxin Protocol. Okay. And what happens is they take 50% of your blood out, and they basically, it spins through a machine,
in a centrifuge,
and they take out all of the plasma, and they replace half of your blood with albumin so that you can function, because you can't just take somebody's blood out and just
yes.
Right. And so you do 3 rounds of that, and then in 6 weeks after that, I'll have a new toxin test to see where we are. But I am told that it will remove about 60% of the toxins so that my immune system can have full function again.
That's incredible.
Like it did when I was younger, like when I was a kid.
Yes.
It also helps clear the brain of toxins, because I don't know if you saw, there was an article that just came out last month that toxins and small plastics and things like that are so small that they can pass the blood-brain barrier, and they affect memory and long-term memory.
So how did you feel when you were finished with your first PRP, or what did you call it?
It's called TPE. It's Toxin Plasmic Exchange.
How did you feel? Were you exhausted? How long did it take? I'm just so curious.
2 hours. It took 2 hours, and it's the same doctors that helped me diagnose my insulin in 2014. So it's called MD Lifespan here in Chicago, but it took 2.5 hours. And then when I was done, I did an IV vitamin bag. Let that drip.
Did you feel like yourself, or?
I was really tired when I finished the first exchange. When they were doing when I had to sit for the vitamin therapy, I almost fell asleep. But it was really quick. It sort of was like a 10-minute period where I was really asleep, and then I woke up. And then after that, I went right back to work, and I had to go. I just went back to work.
Have you noticed a difference?
I'm sleeping better.
You're sleeping better.
I love.
Are you clearer in your thinking?
Not quite yet. I mean, I haven't really. I'm not going to lie. I haven't noticed something so profound. I'll be honest. Depending on my sleep the night before, either I always say I lost my vocabulary today, and I mean that by have you ever not gotten enough sleep, or you just don't have your words today? Sometimes that happens to me on the weekend. I just blank out and I leave all my words on Friday. And then I pick them back up on Monday morning when I need them for things like this. Yeah. But no, I haven't really noticed anything super profound yet. But also I'm only through 1 session. So my next one is in February. My 3rd one is in March. And then after that, I can't wait to do the test.
Yes. I'm so curious.
I'll follow up with you and let you know.
Were your levels of toxins especially high, or were they average?
They were high.
They were high.
Of quite a few different areas. My myotoxins were very high. Yeah.
I just went through and threw out all my black spatulas, which, you think, oh my God, I've been using these for so long. And the other thing is the soups. But I was listening to somebody talk about the microplastics, and he said, I will never eat soup from a can again because of all the plastics in the lining. So every Sunday I've been making homemade soups so that because I love soup and I love soup in the winter. So I don't have to have a can of soup ever again. But I know how many cans of soup I've had, and it's a lot.
Really? Well, you could always take the test and find out what's going on.
I'm so curious.
To me, I'm one of those people who want to know.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes.
I mean, I love getting blood work done. What does it say? Tell me what's going on. My cortisol is always high because I'm running a company, but I think that you can only do that for so long before you get sick. And it's funny.
Yes.
My doctor said to me, I just saw him on Friday. He said, it's not inflammation. It's not aging. They call it inflammaging.
Inflammaging. Well, I think that's something we're going to hear a lot about in the future too.
Inflammation causes gray hair. It causes hair loss. It causes, all of the things that we associate with aging. It's, it's inflammation. It's
inflammation. It's like at the root of all our problems. And there's so many little things we can do every day that make a huge difference. Cut down on your white sugars, cut down on, processed foods. I mean, just because it's easy doesn't mean it's good. It's so hard. It's
actually not even that hard. It's funny. Somebody just said to me the other day, they were going through Whole Foods, and I don't spend I'm not like, focusing on labels. I kind of know what I can grab and what I can't.
Right.
But when I don't know, I was looking at some of the Whole Food stuff, and it says that it's bioengineered. And I was like, it's such a bummer. So now I've got to pay attention to that,
Yes.
And, GMOs, they're bad.
Yes.
Genetically modified. So I just, I think it's a lot for people, so I convey this to, like, let's say, some family or friends in Des Moines, or some of the people I know here in Chicago. You tell them that it's overwhelming, I know it's a lot. But I think if you just start with one thing, and it's when you start to learn about it, I feel like it's kind of, I don't know, I really like learning about it. So for me, it just is a natural, I want to know. And I want to be the best I can be. And I want to continue to run, 3 and 4 days a week for the next 5 to 10 years.
Yes.
And I want to feel healthy, and I want my bones to be healthy. And I want, I don't want to suffer from inflammation again.
No.
I've already been there.
Yes. And it doesn't feel good. It doesn't feel good. I completely understand. I have, one of my daughters has a food allergy. So very early on, and this was years and years ago, before it was something that everybody had their heads around. So I started reading food labels, and really reading food labels. And sometimes I can't believe how many GMOs are out there. And then I'm always surprised how many foods that we can have are from other countries, because we don't have as high of standards as other countries. I have, my oldest daughter is abroad for the semester. She is like, well, I feel like I have to add something. It's not quite as, spicy or salty. And I'm like, no, that's because you're used to our food. Our food is very processed. This is good food. And she even said the fruits and the vegetables are so good because they're not, GMOs, and, they're just fruit. They're just vegetable. They're just how they should be.
I'm telling you, I found a infographic around a box of Fruit Loops. And the Fruit Loops, they have the ingredients from Fruit Loops for Germany, United States, Canada, and India.
Okay.
And they all start, the first ingredient in Fruit Loops in the United States, Germany, and India is flour. Okay. The first ingredients for Canada was sugar.
Okay.
And the United States uses a yellow corn flour. Germany is a wheat flour made of wheats and oats. And India was a multigrain flour. But out of all of the ways that they make Fruit Loops for all of these different areas, it's the same Fruit Loops, sort of. we are the only country that has red 40, yellow 5, blue 1, yellow 6. And this whole idea behind food dyes, I saved that graphic. I'm going to post it to Facebook because I always, if anyone's following me on Facebook, all my posts are public, but I'm always posting that stuff. Take what you want, leave the rest. I'm not trying to be a fun killer. I'm trying to just let people know that even though we ate it back in the 80s,
right,
it's not the same thing. So that was the thing I did for Halloween. It might look the same. The Butterfingers, the licorice, the Snickers, they all look the same. And you say, oh, I ate it. My kids will live. They'll be fine.
Right.
But the thing is that Snickers, licorice, and Butterfingers, they've changed their ingredients.
Yes.
It does.
Which is
look
incredible.
The same.
It's less expensive. It's,
they didn't used to put corn syrup. They didn't used to use dyes, and this idea of, also, I should say this. One of my first investor ever, he was the first person to write us a check. His name is Max Goldberg. If you follow him at all, he writes a newsletter he owns a company called Organic Insider.
Okay.
No one knows more about organic foods than Max Goldberg.
Okay.
Honestly, I feel like you should interview him. He would be great on your podcast.
Oh, I'd like to. Is he from Chicago?
No, he's from Boston.
Okay.
I could introduce you and see if he has time to do that. But
I would
make
love
the
that.
connection. He is a wealth of information. He's really huge advocating, speaking on, educating people on the organic food space and the importance of clean food, farming, clean farming, you name it. And where's I going with this? We were talking about
with the dyes.
We were talking about dyes, and the FDA banned Red 3.
Yes.
They banned Red 3 in 1990 in cosmetics because
but not in food.
They said it caused cancer in cosmetics, but it's okay if you ingest it. And to me, that is just mind blowing to me. And so, yes, we banned it now, and it's not really banned until 2027. But yet there are also food distributors right now. I got emails from some of my distributors. They're saying, we're not waiting until 2027 to ban Red 3. We're banning it now. If you have this ingredients in your food, you can no longer be distributed by our company.
Great.
It's great. And that was just one of the things, there are other grocery stores like Erewhon, Whole Foods. They have a list of ingredients you can't have.
That's amazing. Well, that's Source and Self. Source and Self has a list of banned ingredients that they will not have on their platform. And that's where Rbel Bee came in, because none of your ingredients match the banned ingredients list. And it's so important, I think. So I referenced a daughter with a food allergy. Her first experience was very early on, and it's a peanut allergy. And I don't believe that she ingested a peanut, but I believe she ingested red dye that was part of the devil's food cake, which is the red
40, Red 3.
Yeah. And it mimics a peanut.
Oh, really?
In the body. So, and she was little. What's the kind of cake? The red.
It's
red.
Red velvet.
Red velvet, which is so cute, but she tasted it at a bakery, and then she turned around and didn't feel well for the rest of the day and had hives, and it was a whole thing. And
have you watched that documentary called To Die For?
No, but I have it. It's top of my list. I saw it on your Instagram.
You'll probably relate to what happens in there, because it's all about these kids who ate the red dye and had a reaction right away. That was probably a reaction for her. She didn't feel well, so it's like a red dye reaction.
And it was from a bakery that I'm sure you've heard of it, so I don't want to say it out loud, but that everyone would get their birthday cakes from, and everybody thought was so wonderful. And I
in
thought,
Lincoln Park, I know exactly what you're talking
everyone
about.
does. And it's wonderful and it's so yummy.
I love that bakery. Yeah. It's not even really about that bakery, to be honest.
Yeah.
It's really about people not knowing. And that's why I repeat
education.
It's why I repeat this idea, this egregious thing with Red 3. I don't think that people really understand
Not
that
at all.
Red 3 was banned from your lipstick in 34 years ago.
Isn't that incredible?
34 years ago. So for the last 34 years, the FDA is okay with you eating this, that you might get cancer, but that's okay because they'll give you the medication.
We're on a very scary hamster wheel and we really have to get off. And again, that's why I'm sincerely so grateful. I have, we have lots of food issues, which are probably created because of the food industry. My kiddos, I think our bodies are confused because of the food industry. Early on, when I first had kiddos, my dad said, why are you so, particular about the foods that you serve your kids? We just went to the store and, gave you an apple. We didn't think twice about it. I'm like, but the food has changed and who's in charge of the food has changed. And it's just a different landscape. And it's not necessarily all good. Some wonderful things are coming out of it, like Rbel Bee. And I mean that sincerely. I really do believe in what you're doing. I just hope that you explode and just,
thank you.
Are all over. I'd love to see you on every shelf in every store in everybody. And I would love to see you in every lunchbox.
Oh, thank you. I would too.
It's
interesting too, isn't it? When you think about the things that you do every day, like sleep, drink water, exercise, we all know that when you do something every day, it impacts your body. You're eating every day.
Yes.
You're eating something every day. So if you eat garbage every day, you're going to feel the repercussions of it.
Yes, you will.
Yeah. And so I think about, also when you talk about real food is the flavor fluctuates. You're never going to eat an apple that tastes exactly the same.
Yes.
And so I always say to people, we use real food. So while we try to produce the same flavors over and over and over, they're not always going to be exact because we're using real food.
But I appreciate that.
Thank you. And also real food is expensive. And so I just, if you're going to do something every day, I feel like it's worth it. So that's just I
agree. I agree. And I like that. I like the trademark, the honey is better than sugar. It's true. It's just true. I do put honey or maple syrup in my coffee instead of white sugar. Sometimes I use a little of the agave. What do you think about agave?
I think it's great. It just doesn't really have as much nutrition as the other two.
It's just sweetener.
Yeah. I mean, agave is natural too. It's just, it's about nutrition for me, and also anti-inflammatory. I don't know if agave is anti-inflammatory. I'd have to Google that.
I don't know. But I know it's sweet.
I love eating foods that will help get rid of my inflammation. I really do. I mean, and I think that just really comes from, if anybody felt the way I felt back when I was training for a triathlon and just feeling so thick and like moving my head was an effort. I could feel everything. And I would go to the chiropractor and I would have to go 2 and 3 times a week. It's like I couldn't get unstuck or my joints weren't moving the way they needed to. Everything was inflamed. And it just wasn't getting better. And
you shouldn't live like that. It's too hard. You shouldn't have to. You found
I think we have enough knowledge now and enough information now that we can change it all on our own.
Jolie, thank you.
Thank you so much.
Thank you so much for all your time. It's been really nice to talk to you.
Good to talk to you too.
I really
Hello, alma mater, Drake alma mater.
Yes, yeah, go Bulldogs.
Thank you
thank you so much. I have a couple questions. We have a little source and self speed round. Don't overthink anything I'm going to say.
Okay.
So I just want to, just for the very end, just I'll shoot some questions and just give me your first thought. What do you do first thing in the morning? What do you say to yourself? What do you do? What's your first thought?
Well, I'm a slow riser.
Mm-hmm.
And I usually greet my dog. So I wake up and I take a look around because I just lost a dog. I'm sorry. In November,
I'm so sorry.
He was 18 years old and 3 months. He was my first dog ever.
Sorry.
And I have one dog left. I point because she's behind me. She's 13 and a half and she has cancer. So honestly, every morning now, my first thought is I look at her and I'm grateful that she's still here. That's honest to God. Every single morning I watch her sleep.
Amazing. I understand. I have one right here. In fact, I think you probably heard him snoring a little bit earlier. And I thought, oh dear, I hope it's not too loud. I'm sorry about your dog.
Thank you. Jakey was special.
What is your daily ritual?
My number one daily, and this seems silly, but I do not make early morning meetings. Mm-hmm. My number one ritual is that I don't set an alarm. I don't make myself get up if I don't have to. And I rarely have to. Okay. Right. Like, unless somebody insists on an 8 a.m. or 7 a.m. meeting.
Right.
My ritual is I let myself sleep as much as my body needs to sleep, because I know that the number one healthy thing I can do for myself is sleep. And then my second one would be to guzzle a bunch of water when I first wake up.
Awesome. I love that. I love that you put so much importance on sleep, because I do too. And I wouldn't get up unless I have to. I
mean, if anyone listening can just go remember a really bad day you've had, and then you go to sleep and you sleep 8 to 10 hours. Mm-hmm. And when you wake up, it can change your whole world. And by that, I mean, everything's still the same the way you mm-hmm. left it. And that whatever happened, mm-hmm. yesterday is still all there. All the problems are there, but right. Your whole mindset and your attitude and your thinking about it will be different.
You're clear.
Mm-hmm. And I firmly believe that sleeping can change your world.
Agreed. I'm a big believer. What nourishes your soul?
My dogs and reading, quiet time. I'm one of those people who need time alone. I need mm-hmm. a lot of space and time alone and quiet. Mm-hmm. And so I would say my dog, time alone, running, things Amazing. Like that. Yeah.
Amazing.
I'll have a really bad day. And I mean, I've had some really bad days, and I basically will just I always say, I'm going to, like, to my team, I'm going to hit the reset mm-hmm. button. Mm-hmm. I'm going to go for a run. Mm-hmm. I'll deal with this when I get back. And to mm-hmm. me, I can go do that and reset all of my brain and all of my thinking and everything, and then come back. So that's been huge for me. And I would also say too, the opposite of sometimes work has always saved me. When I've gone through, like when my grandfather passed away, I just needed to get back to work. Mm-hmm. Same thing when I lost my dog just November 30th. You have to get back to work. Mm-hmm. And sometimes work will save you.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Amazing.